Tonight, May 26th. There is a big story already taking shape here. Ken Paxton running away right now with the early vote against John Cornyn. Let's check in with Ken Paxton. His party, at least, Jobin Punniker, is in Plano, where the Paxton campaign is going to hold a watch party here shortly. Jobin?
Well, Jason, if you want any clue into the excitement that's here at this watch party in Plano, the doors opened at 6 o'clock, and there was a line of people wanting to get into this building here. Every now and then you'll hear clapping, you'll hear cheering, and that's because some of the returns are showing up on the big screen here right in front of people. So there are a lot of people focused on the returns, focused on their drinks, focused on their food as these speeches begin. Now, this is being hosted by the Lone Star Liberty PAC. There's about 200 people here, probably closer to 300. People we spoke with, they are encouraged about tonight. Some of them say this is going to be a very short night. We're looking at some of the early returns. It looks probably closer that way. And in talking with some of these voters, they say one thing we noticed is people were more eager to talk about what Senator Cornyn did not do for them versus what the Attorney General could do for them in his possible new role. Now, adjectives that we heard in talking with some of these voters who just voted for Ken Paxton. They said he's formidable. They say he's a fighter. They say he will not back down. Now, the president's endorsement was a big deal. In talking with about 5 or 6 people here, they said the president's endorsement was important to them, and the fact that happened in the 11th hour was the icing on the cake for them. Now, as you've said before, and you've reported this, that Paxton had no public events tonight or today. He has not done a whole lot of media. He's here in Collin County. Keep in mind, he still has a home here in Collin County. Some of his biggest supporters are here in Collin County, and some of his loudest detractors are also here in Collin County. Now, we're here at this event, again, put on by the Liberty PAC. There's going to be a speech here tonight at some point. He's expected to speak at 9 o'clock, and we have probably 2 or 3 speakers just before that. Jason, we'll take it back to you at the studio.
All right, Jobin, thanks for that. He's going to speak in 90 minutes or so here, which he may speak before that, guys, if these results continue here. We do have some more results out of Harris County, I believe, that we can show you for a number of races. We also have the Democratic Attorney General's race. The race to replace Ken Paxton on the Democrat side. This is Nathan Johnson and Joe Jaworski. Again, this is a little surprising to me right here, because Matt Jaworski didn't have any cash at all, and Nathan had the money, and it seems like maybe the bigger network here. This is closer than I anticipated it would be.
I think it's about what we would expect, just because of where the size of the support is. You've got Dallas County in North Texas, much bigger. Nathan Johnson is much more broadly known in North Texas than Joe Jaworski is in Houston. So I think this is more a play of just the geography of the state and the relative geographic strengths of the candidates.
And while we're waiting on some more numbers to come in, if we can go ahead and go through some of these full screens here, we have the Republican race for Texas Attorney General. Mays Middleton was out early in the lead there against Chip Roy. There's still a lot more ballots to be counted here, but Mays Middleton so far with 43% reporting statewide. He's at 57% of the vote. The same thing we saw Jason Wheeler was showing us a moment ago in the break here with the Railroad Commission. Beau French, the MAGA candidate there, was leading statewide as well with 53% of the vote. This is 54% there. This is really shaping up to be, guys, here a huge night for MAGA and another feather in the cap for Trump. I'm thinking here, Bud.
Well, this is really something. Trump has given a voice and given force to this movement in Texas that has really been frustrated for 30 years. This didn't start with Trump. The grassroots, they've been trying to overthrow the Bush family. They went and actually campaigned against George W. Bush when he was running for president. The religious right in Texas, the Christian right, which now is aligned with the Patriot MAGA movement. They have tried to gain control of the Republican Party, take over the whole apparatus, take over the convention, actually throw candidates out of the party that don't adhere to their beliefs. And this is the big night. This is the coming out party. This is when they get rid of what they think is the last vestige of the Bush regime.
It is, Andrea, the last vestige. I mean, besides John Cornyn, there's no one else who really carries the Reagan-Bush mantra like he does. This is the last one. The governor doesn't do that anymore.
There's not, and I was at the Texas GOP convention in 2014 and saw John Cornyn get booed. This is not a new development that they've decided he's not the grassroots hero that they wanted. This is just the first time he's had an opponent with the money and the clout to take him down in a primary.
What surprises do you see here tonight on the Republican side, Andrea?
I don't see a single surprise.
Really?
This has been coming. Now, if this was a general election populace voting on this, we would be talking different. But the Republican Party has been fantastic at getting rid of people they don't like through the runoff mechanism. I think it's 6% of incumbents who get taken to a runoff survive. One of them is Ken Paxton, who survived. People forget less than half of the voters wanted him to continue 4 years ago, and we're watching a coronation to the Senate nomination.
He defeated Louis Gohmert, the former Supreme Court judge.
George P. Bush, Eva Guzman had to go to a runoff and then cleaned up in the runoff. So if every person who voted in the runoff 4 years ago voted for him today, he won already.
And Matt, as a Democrat, when you see the momentum that Republicans have right now in Texas, the MAGA wing of the Republican Party in Texas, does it give you hope or heartburn?
Absolutely hope, because this is not an expression of Texas Republicans. This is Texas Republicans becoming national Republicans. They've turned in their Texas card. The Texas brand is off. They're owned by Trump. They define him. Trump's unpopular. It gives Democrats a chance to earn voters' trust that they didn't have a chance with before. The onus is on Democrats to fill that gap. There's going to be a lot of fair-minded people in Texas who've been defaulting to Republicans for many years. They're going to give Democrats a look, not just James Tallarico, but some other ones. And it's on us to make ourselves available to them. I think Texas is ready to fire Republicans. The question is, are they ready to hire Democrats? And we'll see.
Andrew, what do you think about that? You've seen a couple of these.
I've seen a couple of these. I don't know that James Tallarico and his, what I'm guessing will amount to $150 million spent by the time it's all said and done, will elect James Tallarico to Senate. But I believe it's going to elect a lot of people to a lot of offices down ballot.
Down ballot for the Democrats. There's a number of other races we're watching. Colin Allred and Julie Johnson is another big race that we were watching here in Dallas County. Two friends, former friends, who got into a bitter campaign here. We're going to check in with them at their watch parties here in just a few moments. First, let's take a quick break.